morning, all. Are you able to hear my voice? Whether I am audible? Can anyone reply? Can anyone reply whether I am audible? Yes. Okay. Okay. In the previous class, we are discussing about the features of Unix. In that, we have discussed once again all the features. We recap all the topics what we have discussed about the kernel, about the shell, about the features of Unix. Later, we have started with this POSIX. POSIX is nothing but, see, when they have started developing the Ken Thompson, the Unix operating system, the Unix operating system was not portable because the language they have used is PDP, which was a machine dependent program. For that, what was the solution? They discussed with the Dennis Ritchie and they have developed the complete Unix operating system using the C language. Then they thought that it is a very good success. They can do the portability is possible, but it was not a huge success. It was not very portable, the Unix operating system. That is why they have decided uh, to develop these standards that will be used for programming. They want some standard libraries. The same function should be used to develop the Unix operating system. That that is the thing they have decided, and they have come up with the standards. The first standards which was developed is SWID, SVID SWID. What is that SWID? Is System V Interface Definition. That is a name they have given for those standards. Standards is nothing but coding practices or the libraries what they have to use to develop the operating system. Some of the up to some extent they have found the success. Then there was a open group. Now they are going to call it as an open group. There is a X group. There that was the next standards they have used to develop the C language. After that, the third version, X-Open Portability Guide. That is the third standards they have used to develop the Unix operating system. The outputs of those operating systems are Unix 95, Unix 98, Unix 03. If you have the operating system Unix 95 or Unix 98 or Unix 03, the standards they have used is the SWID Open Group or X-Open Portability Guide. They are the standards, they are the coding practices, the standard libraries, they are, that all those things has been defined. Later on, the in the AT&T laboratories, there was a team called IEEE. You have heard this Institution of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. There is a group which is IEEE. They have developed one standards that is called as POSIX, Portable Operating System Interface for any computer environment. This is the one which is a huge success for the Unix operating system. It is the standards they are going to use. The POSIX, so many versions are there, POSIX 1, 2, 3, but finally the standards which was approved or which they got the huge success is the POSIX. Later on, the portability was not a problem. To move from one OS to the other OS, it was not a problem. And this is the name POSIX, Portable Operating System Interface for Computer Environments. What they have developed, C application programming interface system calls that they have covered in the POSIX 1. In the same way, in the POSIX 2 versions, they are worried about the shells and the utility functions, about the thread management in the POSIX 4. They are just the standards. Using that, see, write once, adopt everywhere. In that way, the standards that is being defined in the POSIX, that they are going to use and they are going to develop the operating system. That is the meaning of POSIX. It is a standard or the specification name. In different versions, they have handled so many different areas. See, POSIX 2, they have discussed about the shell and utilities. In the thread management, about in the POSIX 4. It can be easily portable to the another POSIX Unix machine with lesser modification. Very minute modification is just required if they develop the operating system using this POSIX. That is the meaning of this. Remember this POSIX. See, in the Unix, there is an option to execute in a different environment. You can use that computer operating system in different environment. Like the personal environment means as we use the individual as a user, only that person is going to use the operating system, that is personal environment. Even there is a support in the Unix for time sharing. Time sharing is nothing but many users connected to one computer. But based on the time constraint, the jobs of that particular user they are going to run. Client server environment is, I'm going to show the image, then you can easily understand. Personal environment is, you can directly imagine your computer. As a user, you are going to use your system. The jobs are going to run, which has been executed by that user. This time sharing and client server environment, it is very clear if you see this figure. See, there are different terminals. Different terminals means there are separate users. Here there are other resources are there where your data is there or central storage, the data is there, or this printer, some other hardwares are there. This terminal 1 is going to send some information, some task, terminal 2, terminal 3. The terminal 1 has to use this printer. Assume that 5 seconds will be given for terminal 1 to print. The next time second for this job for the second terminal. In the same way, the third, or how many terminal systems are going to be connected, they are going to allot the time and they are going to run the jobs of those particular terminals. Terminals is nothing but the users where of the system where the task gets generated. Even they want to connect it to the other system also. But see, you can visualize like this. Client server environment is nothing but who is going to all the information of shared printers, the central storage, all those informations will be stored in this server. All these clients has to send this request to the server itself. The server should know how to get the job done by the connected devices. These clients will not directly access the shared printers or the central storage. The server is responsible for that. The client has to send the request to the server. It has to dispatch those requests, get the response and send it to the clients. All this support, it is given in the Unix operating system. See, when they are going to develop the operating system, all these things will not come by default. The different environment they have to think and they have to include, or the support should be given in the Unix operating system. One is the personal environment, another one is the time sharing environment, one more is client server environment. These three environments are supported in this Unix. The next main thing in this Unix is this commands. See, if you want to do our job, we need a commands. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This general command format, the command format is like this. First, you have to give the command names. The next one is followed by the options, then the arguments. See, for that to see the commands or the execute the commands, I have already opened the VMware, I booted the Linux operating system. and I am going to open the terminal. I want to do some addition, or I want to see the today's date. When they have developed the operating system, it was just with the command interface. You cannot directly click like this, open the folder, open the file. There was a command interface. All the jobs should be done with the commands. Those commands we are going to see now. The first command is I want to see the today's date. The command for that is date. I have just given the verb. See, I will directly match to the syntax. See, I have given this verb, the name of the command. Options, these arguments I have not mentioned, directly have given the word. These are the things they are optional. Whenever it is required, you can add it to the name of the command. This is the general format of the command. See this, it is a date. I already said this is a root login. That is why see the still symbol indicates the control. It is inside the root. The control is inside means the master login. You can create multiple accounts other than the root with your name, but all the privileges not be there. That is why I have logged in into this Linux operating system Fedora 10 using the root login. That is why this still symbol you are going to see. This root folder is, this is the one, root home. So many files are there, right? In the desktop, see, there is a called root. The root home, that is the one it is going to show. The control is here inside this folder. The control is inside this folder, root. If I want to see the calendar of this today's month, see, if I enter calendar CAL, the output will be like this. You'll get the current month calendar. If you want the calendar of the next month, 10th month 2020, October calendar you can see. If you want to see the calendar 2012, you can see like this. The entire calendar you are going to get. Therefore, what is the syntax of the calendar? Calendar, month, and the year. These are optional. You see, if I enter just a calendar, you are going to get the current month. With that, I'm going to enter month with the year, or just I have entered the year itself. You'll get the entire calendar. If I want to clear this screen, everyone you have to please note the commands that we have discussed. Then you can try once again in the in the terminal, in your terminal. Date command, calendar without any options, with options, that is month and the year, just the year. If I want to clear the screen, the output screen, the command that will be used is clear, C-L-E-A-R, clear. If you enter clear, the entire terminal you can clear. These are the three things we have discussed. One is clear, one is date, another one is calendar. Now, I want to check who has logged in to this Unix, Fedora 10. See, you can see here root. That root indicates root login in the user as logged in or the system which is logged in with the root username. When it is login, the date, it is the date, the timestamp, everything is available here. The system is logged in with root username. That is why you are going to get root. The command to get the username which you have logged in, the command is who. To clear the screen, clear. If you want to check the process which are running in the system, in the Linux operating system, for that there is a command called ps. See here, ps is nothing but, see in the first column, process ID, some unique ID will be there. In your computer, any software which is going to run in the background, if any process is created, there will be a unique number for that. Because the operating system has to take the control of that process. It has to find that process, terminate, allocate the resources. Anything it wants to do means there should be some unique ID, that is the process ID. Then the terminal, in which terminal you are going to run, what is the type, and the last one command is bash command. See what is this bash is the shell. As I already said, there are different types of shells are there: bash shell, corn shell, C shell, and also I have shown you who are the authors who have developed. The most of all the jobs what you enter, the commands that will be run by this shell. The commands what you enter, that will be executed by this shell. The execution of the commands by different shells, bash shell, corn shell, C shell, it is almost the same. The way of executing in the background, it is different. The shells, the command, if I enter calendar, the bash command can execute this command, cal. Even the corn shell can execute. The C shell can execute the command. In the background, the implementation is different. If there are multiple shells are there in background in they are going to run, then that list you can see here, process, PS. To view the processes, the command that you are going to use is PS. To clear the screen, clear. Many times or most of the times the command which they are going to ask you in the exams is this one, or even when you use the operating system, the commands that you use is ls. List the files which are there in that folder. Which is the folder we are inside now? We are inside the root folder. The tilde symbol indicates root folder. This is the one. Where is the root folder in the whether we will go to that location? See, this is the root home. All these files, see all these files, it get displayed here. Videos, workspace, documents, download, desktop. See this, all those files, it get listed in this ls. Now, see, so many files are there. I want just the file names which are starting with experiment or experi. In that case, what I do is ls experi star, the pattern matching. This is one feature which I have said in the previous class when I discussed the Unix features. If you use this regular expression, Star means 0 or more. If there are any files starting with expiry, it is going to list. See here, in that particular folder, there are 6 files: experiment1.tcl, 1.tcl, tilde symbol, 2.2. There are 6 files are there. If you use your up arrow mark and down arrow mark, you can get the commands that you have previously executed. That is the shortcut to get the commands. No need to type it once again. See, I am just clicking on the up arrow mark. These are the commands which I have entered. Now, if you want to check the file experiment1.tcl, what all the writes are there for this experiment1.tcl? See here, I'll go to this particular folder where experiment1.tcl is there. See, this is the experiment1.tcl. In the properties, you can see permissions. There will be a permissions for each file. As a owner, what is the rights I have? I have read and write option on this experiment1.tcl. Group, I have created, there are multiple, I have created a group. There are 10 users inside that. Other than me, in that group, what is the access? I have just given read only. Other than the group, if others access, there is no group. If there are others wants to access this file, because there is a support for client server or the time sharing, which I have discussed. For them also, we have given read only. And last one, execute option. See, these things, this is the permissions, which is already there. Read and write, for group, read only, read only. If I want to check the permissions of that particular file, ls experiment1.tcl. With that, see that therefore the syntax of the ls command is ls space. You have to give one space, then the file name or any options. File name arguments, if you want to give, there should be a space after the each command. ls hyphen l, the file name is experiment1.tcl. See now, hyphen read write. This indicates, the first part indicates read write permission is there for the user, owner. Read permission is for group. Read only permission is for others, and also execution part. And what is the file name, timestamp, date, the process, everything. Root login, in which folder it is there, all those other information. If you want those entire information, ls hyphen l you have to enter. ls hyphen l you have to enter. The next command is ls. Remember, ls is to check the files, to list the files inside the directory. To list the files inside the directory. Just ls. ls hyphen l is for to see the other information. File permissions, when it was created, the last modified, who is the user, all those permission, all other information metadata if you want to see ls hyphen l. This ls option, see, it will give this huge amount of data. I just want to write this information inside the file. For that, what I'll do is I want to push the output of the ls into one file. Ls, this greater than symbol, content. If I do like this, the entire output of this command ls, and it will go and store in the file name called content. We'll check that. See here, there is a file called content. If you open that content, it contains the output of that command. ls hyphen l. Just now we have executed one command, arrow mark content 2. See here, there is no, it is not going to show any output. ls hyphen l. Just now we have seen the output file permissions. But this file permissions, all those things, that output, it is not here. Where exactly it is? Which is inside the file content 2. See here, there is a file called content 2. The output, you are going to get it here. If you want to store the output of the commands, you have to use this arrow mark symbol followed by the file name. Remember this. Directly, if you want to see the content of the file, I want to check the content of the file. One option is what I'll do. I'll go to the root folder. I'll double click the content to, and I'll see. Instead of that, if I use this command called cat, cat, followed by the file name, it will show you the content of that file. Many times if you use this Unix operating system, normally you are going to use the commands is this cat, this ls option, ls-l, and this feeding the output to another file, arrow mark, followed by the file name. Remember this, cat is for to see the content of that file. One more, the last command that we are going to see today is, see here, x equals some 1000. This is a variable. In that variable, I have stored x equals 1000. By mistake, I have cleared this screen. Intentionally or unintentionally, I have cleared the screen. But in that variable x, what I have stored, I want to check. Echo dollar $x. Echo is going to give you the output of that variable. That variable, see, x is not a command. X is a variable. That is why you have to add that dollar before that variable. Echo is to just throw the output to the terminal of that variable. Echo followed by variable name. Inbuilt, there is one variable. Inbuilt, I have not created. Inbuilt, there is one variable, that is path. I think if you have installed the Java in your system, they mention you to put the path of the JDK location in an environment variable called path. If you want to check the content of that, echo dollar path. This is variable which I have not created. It is an inbuilt environment variable which will be used by so many softwares. See, if you want to see the content, echo you can use echo dollar path. We'll discuss, we'll recap once again the commands. Clear is to clear the screen. Date command is to get the today's date. Calendar with the options month and year to see the month calendar. Who command is to check who is the user who has logged in. PS command is the to list the processes, to view the processes. LS is a command to list the files. ls hyphen l ls hyphen l is for to see the file permissions and other information. ls this arrow mark file name to redirect the output to the files. To store the variable, just equal commands it is enough. To print that variable, you have to use echo followed by the variable name. As of now, this calculation is not required. And once again, this echo command followed by this by inbuilt variable echo $1. Totally, the echo is going to print the value of a variable. You can take the snapshot of this screen and you can try all these commands in your Unix operating system or Linux operating system. You can take the snapshot of this screen and you can try this in your terminal. For today's class, it is enough. Now you can send your attendance. Please everyone rename your profile with the USN. If the name is there, just remove it. Just a USN is enough. See, this Adesh, Sriram, Adarsh, Anubhav, Bhargav, Kritika, Priti, Spurti, Vaidehi, Amit Krishna. Please rename your profile with the USN because in order to mark attendance, that is much it is required. Everyone, you can send your attendance now. Before you send your attendance, the profile name, please change our profile name just with the USN name and then send your attendance. If you have sent the attendance, you can exit.